right. I feel like that was a little bit of a shit show getting started.
It's all good.
But we're here.
Yes, sir.
And we made it, dude. Yeah, I've been wanting to have you back on and just have like a fucking good vibes podcast. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah, I'm always down for that. I was actually concerned yesterday when I was being summoned. I was wondering, like, what are we going to talk about? But
that's what we're going to talk about. Good vibes, bro.
Yeah, good vibes. And I thought about it. You know, we've come a long ways since we moved downstairs, and we've been at it for a while. So probably be good to go over like a year in review. I mean, we've still got another quarter left, but
yeah,
you know, we're always growing.
No, especially coming off of the last couple weeks. I did a couple solo episodes, and not only obviously everybody who's familiar with kind of the vibe of the country with the Charlie Kirk thing, and like we're seeing political divide pull us further and further apart, and it's hard to not get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And get consumed by it. And the thing is, man, it's like the state of our country does impact our lives. It does. So like
yeah.
to be like, hey, if you can't control it, give it no energy. Like I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, the truth is the state of our country affects our lives. And it's hard to completely be detached from what's going on socially and economically and politically. But again, something you hear me say all the time is informed but not consumed. And I'm like, dude, I've been consumed by it for a little while. I need to step back a little bit and just find that informed realm where I still know what's going on, but I'm not letting it dictate like what's going on between my ears 24/7.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And, as a freaking partner of yours and somebody that's been kind of hanging out with you for a while, I totally understand, how it can consume you, or we've seen how people get consumed by it.
Yeah.
I think where we're different is that we consume ourselves with kind of strengthening ourselves and working on ourselves and preparing for the worst, and then staying informed on what we need to be informed on without even having to watch TV. And like, I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
I don't watch the news. I just kind of get it from everybody else that's consumed.
Yeah.
And then I just go ahead and deduce like what information I need and what's going to work for me to make a informative decision on important things,
Bro, if I'm being honest, I am looking at Instagram too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't watch the news either, and I've kind of prided myself on that. Like, I've been able to stay away from the mainstream media because they're poisoning your minds on both sides.
Yeah.
And I do think the left is poisoning people's minds at a much greater rate currently. But regardless, you're not going to watch something to just consume information. You're going to hear somebody's narrative. I'm not interested in that. So then you start to find yourself finding a lot of what you consume online. But even that, man, it starts to, your feed starts to show you things, not to be like, oh, you know what? I want Greg to be informed of what's going on right now. No, the algorithm just wants you to keep scrolling.
100%.
So what can they do to make you keep scrolling? And 9 times out of 10, it's fucking trigger you.
Yeah.
And I've been finding myself there. And the thing is, it's like I think we talked about this in the sauna last night in regards to like some people's jiu-jitsu growth. It's like having an awareness of what the problem is. That's key.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yep.
And I'm happy to say I at least have that. I think a lot of people are just stuck on that thing and just fucking, they call it doom scrolling for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, and it's wild how they work it, because they'll give you stuff that you like, and then they'll give you stuff that they know will kind of trigger you, and then that's how you get consumed, and you just like sink into it. And then now you start building emotions towards it, and it just derails you from like your way of life.
For sure, man. Something I've been noticing this last week is, someone with a relatively conservative page is posting like a picture of Charlie Kirk, and it just says like 1993 to 2025, family man, he loved Jesus, praying for him, right? Like pretty as uncontroversial as you could get, right?
Yeah.
And then you read the comments, and like the first 20 comments are like, fuck that racist piece of shit.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, motherfucker. And I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? Like people really say that? And then you scroll down past those first 20 or whatever, and it's 1,000 comments of like, rest in peace, Charlie, you really helped me through blah, blah, blah. And like people saying little snippets of good, right?
Yeah.
Bro, it's not by accident that on my feed, I get all the nasty comments up front or the ones that are out of alignment with how I hold myself.
Yeah, because then they'll draw in more people that are against your narrative or against the way you
100%, dude.
It's wild, it's like who's gonna read 20 comments to get to 1,000 great ones?
Yeah, exactly.
When you can just read the first one, you're like, yeah, this is not my dude.
Bro, it even fucking like, I try and take the Joe Rogan approach and don't reply to comments ever. And I got pulled in a couple times this week, man.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I referred to that dude that stabbed that girl in the neck as a deranged animal. Mm-hmm. And this black dude was fucking all upset about it. And he's like, I don't see you calling white guys that commit crimes deranged animals. And it's like, well, let's unpack this a little bit, right? Because, listen, the guy that shot Charlie Kirk, I understand a plethora of mental problems, right? But at its core of cores, it's a guy who had a ideological difference, and he targeted another man who he interpreted spreading hate, right?
Yeah.
As much as I disagree with it, my mind can be like, well, I can start to connect the dots, right?
Yeah.
Walking by a young woman and just putting a knife in her neck, I can't connect those dots.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, deranged animal. And he got that title. It wouldn't have had nothing to do with the color of his skin, so...
I mean, that's what that is. You walk into a freaking tiger's den and, you don't belong there. The animal going to get you.
That's right.
It doesn't
dude.
need to
Yeah, exactly, dude. So,
reason with you. So that's exactly what it is. You're just naming it what it is. It's wild to me that we all have that understanding. And then you have like, I don't know. I know the percentage is least, but they always seem to be the loudest. And it's going back to how they base the algorithm too.
for sure, man.
And then now that goes into our children that have access to that. So now, they're getting the whole thing full on. Like we have to fight trying to raise our kids and then also trying to erase shit that they've consumed.
For sure, man. No, I was actually really proud of my oldest, Sai. She's 16. She said, hey, some of the things that are going around the internet right now, like some of the things even my friends are saying, she's like, it's letting me know that I need to probably put space between myself and certain people in my life.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is so far out of alignment with what I think is right. I was like, fuck, dude, 16, you're putting it together, man.
No, 100%. The girls are like that. They have their way about them, like Cadence, Sai, even Maya. When they hang out, I don't feel, scared or I'm not worried about them. Like they can maintain and carry themselves. It's crazy to think that other kids are looking at them as if they're weird, because they're prepared or they're willing to, they carry knives. They're willing to stab somebody if anything goes down.
And they know how to fight, man.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I understand jujitsu and fighting are two different things. But, like as the saying goes, in the land of the blind, he with one eye is king. So when you're talking about people that know nothing about fighting and you can grapple like Cadence and wrestle like Cadence, good luck, dude. Yeah.
And that's the thing that I like about what we do for the kids, because we're teaching them, I'm pretty sure a lot of them are getting overstimulated because a lot of things getting thrown at them. They got school, they got life. They make it seem like their life is harder than ours growing up, which to their point, it is kind now because there's a lot of, attention a lot of different things trying to grab at them for attention. And we are here trying to forge great like men and women to be good contributors to society. And it's just amazing the things that we have to battle, but just seeing them on the mats, like I'm confident and I would love to see one day when Cadence has to roll angry. Mm-hmm. Like I want to see that person because I know it's going to be controlled. It's not going to be chaotic. It's not going to be one of those, I see red, bro.
Yeah.
It's like ground and pound. Like I'm pretty sure she's going to hold somebody down and just elbow.
You see that look in her eyes when she turns it on.
Yeah.
Like there's a darkness in there that most people can't deal with.
Yeah. And I like that because now I get to talk to her about it. Like how we talk about sitting in the fire and finding different parts of yourself.
Yeah.
You know, the killer, the rapist, all of that. Like now we're at the same level where we can understand each other because she has acknowledged that side of her.
Well, and both our girls are old souls too, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not just saying that because everybody wants their children to sound like they're special. My younger two are definitely young souls, right? Like, so it's like, but I see that in my oldest, like wise beyond her years. And same with Cadence, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm sure jiu-jitsu had a big part of that too.
Yeah.
Like they have been in an environment where you can't be a full of shit person since they were little tiny girls.
Yeah.
And now they're young women and they've been in that environment pretty much. I mean, Sai's been on the mats off and on since she was 5. So at least that's a part of almost every phase of her life to some degree.
Yeah. And yeah, they're the same. They started around the same age. And to your point, jiu-jitsu is the cause of all of this.
Yeah.
The cause of, you know, the girls being the girls being friends, us coming here, you know. I was sent here because of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You know, learning now that I'm not like a world champ, but it's a vessel for me to do my contribution. And if that's raising kids to be formidable and be a part of the community, then that's my job. That's my calling.
Bro, I've talked about it before. Like once you realize what your value is on the mats, you become so empowered as a coach, a professor, a teammate, like all those things. Because sure, there's a percentage of people chasing competition titles, and it's fucking rad.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had fucking Adam and Lovato in here over the last month or two. Like guys that chase the pinnacle of competition, that's a special group of people, right?
Yep.
But jiu-jitsu can give you just as much good without being one of those guys. If you find how it serves you and how you can use your jiu-jitsu to serve other people. Yeah. And bro, like you're the black belt world champion of that as a brown belt because you've figured out how to, and I would love to just listen to you unpack it, but you have walked the line that so many people struggle with of being hard on the kids while simultaneously they all love and respect you. Right? It's easy to fucking bark and be an asshole. That's easy, right? It's also easy to be nice and the kids walk all over you. You have found that balance perfect. And you think that that's something just from your culture and your upbringing, or?
I think it's a combination of all of it, you know, like my upbringing, adversities that I've gone through, adversities that I've seen, you know, and how it shaped my character. I kind of translate that into my coaching style. It's like I feel for the kids, but I don't feel sorry for them. I feel like I need to get them ready for the world that they're in. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of parents now, especially nowadays, it's way different than you and I growing up. Yeah, we grew up in 2 different places, but we still grew up in our generation nonetheless.
In the 80s.
Like whatever you saw, I saw. You know, I saw in movies. I saw in TV, you know. Kids can ride their bikes to the corner store and, you know, have fun and not worry about the shit that we worry about nowadays. Mm-hmm. And, you know, a lot of parents, they kind of shield their kids from all the harm and they try to make it better for them, knowing full well or not knowing at all that that's not how the world is. The world is not nice anymore, you know? So part of the way I think of my job is to make them formidable, like make them hard. Sometimes it could be traumatizing, but I know how to walk the line. Mm-hmm. I see it goes per kid. It's not generalizing all the kids. I work with the kids individually on how they receive me and the way they take messages, right? Like pretty much, how they receive me. It's sometimes I can yell at them and they'll receive that. Some of them I have to like kneel down, get to their level and reason with them. And I always seem to bring them back to the mat. And then they start, you know, understanding fully. And then that's when I'm in, that's when we go all in and start talking about their parents and what their parents are doing for them and having recognition for all the hardship that their parents are going through and how they get to do what they get to do at where they get to do it. You know, so I have respect for all your coaches, for the facility. So pretty much stuff that we grew up and learned in hard ways, mostly by our dads, that don't get taught nowadays. You know, it's funny because all the parents laugh and I get my gauge is the grandmothers.
Okay.
And I think it's because we're like the same age as their kids.
Yeah.
So they're used to raising us.
Us. Yep.
So when they see me coach, like they were coaching their kids back in the late 80s, early 90s, I think it brings them back because they're the ones that always want to come and give me a hug and tell me that they love what I do, that I'm so mean, but at the same time, it's very loving. And they're like, it sounds weird.
I'm telling you, that's the balance that everybody notices. And it's like your superpower because you have no problem calling someone out in front of the whole team, putting them in their place, like shining a spotlight on what they did, if it's something that needs to be addressed at a team level, or if it's not, pulling them aside and having it one-on-one. But regardless, you're very, very good at identifying a problem and then saying what needs to be said in the moment. And a lot of times you can see the kids, it's hard for them to hear.
Yeah.
But then by the end of practice, they're giving you a hug and saying they love you.
Yeah, those are wild. Like even Igor's like, bro, how you do that? I'll take like a week off and then I'll come back and then I have to address certain things that probably didn't get addressed while I was gone.
Yeah.
And Igor just looks at me and goes, my brother, thank you. I missed you.
Well, Igor's from Russia, dude. Yeah. Like, you'd think he'd be the hardest on all the kids.
That's what I figured. He is hard on them, though, when it comes to, like, conditioning.
Yeah.
Which I am, too, but it's kind of the same. Like, I'm not going to wear the kids down and not have them gain anything from it. Mm-hmm. Like, there's always got to be something. So it's a good that, in that case, it's like the good cop, bad cop, or good dad, bad dad, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. But, yeah, no, we've built quite a team, too.
Well, what are you having per practice now? Like 40 kids, yeah?
Average, yeah.
Okay. And that's, dude, it's pandemonium in here, dude. Not once you guys get started, it's all good. But like the 10 minutes leading into class, I was just talking with the guys yesterday. I was like, dude, I got to come in my office and hide. Because they're like wild animals, dude. But I also kind of like that this is a place where they can run around, scream, throw balls at each other. Like they get like 20 minutes of, some of the parents are bringing them at like 4:30, right?
Yeah.
So they get a half hour. And that's what I think, I don't know if it says it on our website or whatever, but that's kind of our I don't know if it's an official or unofficial rule, but like don't drop your kids off a half hour more than a half hour before practice.
Yeah.
And there's a decent amount of kids that are like right on that cusp. And then they get here and it's just fucking.
I don't just like you, I don't mind it because I do love to see that this is like a good place for them and they feel comfortable being themselves. I think
I just can't be out there stretching.
Yeah, that's one. But another thing is we have to address certain things like, class don't start till 5. And if you want to be here early, find your clique and sit down and work on some technique or learn how to tie your belt.
Yeah.
Don't be running around. It's not a playground. Like for me, I've always understood that liability only starts when class starts. So if you hurt yourself before class, then...
Well, I do tell even my bigger kids, because to give context, Will teaches, what's the average age in your class? 6 to 9?
Nah, bro, I got 5.
You got 5?
Yeah. I think she's 4. Ellie's 4. I think she's 4 going on 5.
Okay, so 4 to 9.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I run the 10 to 14-year-olds, and it's a completely different vibe because 10 to 14, most of those kids are there because they want to be there. A lot of kids in the young kids class are there because their parents want them to try it out. I think that's a big difference, but also just the maturity levels. But even with the bigger kids, I'm like, I don't want you guys rolling live unless a coach is out here.
Yeah.
I don't want, because bro, the 13, 14-year-old yellow belts, they're getting fucking good, man.
Yeah.
And they're rolling like 2 purple belts. And it's like, there has to still be oversight at this age when you guys are 100%. Fucking trying to murder each other.
Yeah, if you like that, then stay for adult class.
Yeah, stay for adult class.
You get more roles, you get more of everything.
And I tell the big yellow belts, I'm like, stay. And you see Hiram's doing it now and a couple of them.
No, that is awesome. Another thing that I like is that group of the kids that do your class are also doing my class.
Yeah.
So they essentially get more jiu-jitsu, but then for my class, they do help out in a sense of helping all the new kids and the lower belts kind
Dude,
of get up.
they're learning junior leadership.
Yeah.
Because if you have a yellow belt and then even a couple orange belts now, like you are youth leadership. That's just how this works.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing in adult ranks. Once you get a brown belt, it's a junior leadership position.
Yeah.
So, and bro, I'm telling you, as someone that's worked for a lot of different agencies that are built around like operational teams, I think the best leadership lessons are learned through jiu-jitsu.
100%.
You know, like because every single time it's real.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if I would be biased because I feel like it's my style, but I do coach more than just jiu-jitsu, and like for the kids, like you say, junior leadership. I don't know if you've seen the last couple of weeks. So I've been starting to implement stuff that I had learned as an adult, even at my old age, like I'm still learning stuff, whether it's through my career, we're always learning, burning, and I get the benefit of that by translating that to the kids at a very early age.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be my age and still have to try and get rid of, timidity and tap into vulnerability and go to the jungle just to do that. And it's like, I want these kids to grow up, and when they go to the jungle, they're ready for the jungle.
You're saving them a trip to Costa Rica to do ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Just getting that shit out of the way now at 5 years old.
Yeah, do it right here.
Yeah.
But it's like in forms of, like for example, like yesterday, I had all the yellow belts compete against each other to see who could go down the line and name all of their teammates.
Oh, okay.
And I think the most was
Don't do that to
7.
me. Don't do that to me, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the most was 7.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, now everybody understands what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build cohesiveness, and better camaraderie. So if I wanna get to know you, like let's start with your name, bro.
Yeah.
And making eye contact. And hey, what's your name? My name is, Will. Nice to meet you, Greg. Like just basic stuff.
Basic human being shit.
Yeah.
That, like, I don't think a lot of people even realize is getting lost.
It's getting lost. Like I tell them when we're jogging, up in a straight line, when they're drilling, like drill in a straight line, do not cross. Like you guys are gonna grow up, and this is it's like the rules of the road.
Yeah.
And you gotta have decency and like just courtesy. Like know when to move, let people go. Like you guys gotta learn that. Like learn that now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you, as your coach, I would be, at fault for not like helping you be better at treating people, knowing your spatial relations, all that stuff. Like that stuff was important to me growing up because I just had, I was just raised with a lot of respect and common courtesy. And I feel like that's a lost art, and all the kids now are benefiting from that.
Well, and dude, the thing is, I don't have to do this in adults because the adult culture is pretty much already self-sustaining. I see people do this all the time, but I'll do it in kids class. And man, if you make someone feel seen, that's how they show up as the best teammate.
Yeah.
And bro, that starts the minute they walk through that door. And so a lot of times when I see a new kid here, I'll grab Carson or Jackson or someone that's been around and be like, hey, grab this kid and introduce him to the team.
Yeah.
And just that to break the ice is like,
Yeah.
oh, and then within one practice, they're like laughing and joking, and you can see like the real relationships get forged almost immediately, dude.
Yeah, no, it's real, and that just would translate throughout their adulthood. Now, when they encounter certain things, they know to be first, to help, to introduce, to not make people feel uncomfortable. They knew how they felt their first day on the mat.
Yeah.
That's going to be a core memory for them, so they never want to let anybody feel left behind.
And you know what I've noticed lately too, just the last couple of weeks, some of the kids that are sticking around for adult class are hopping in and cleaning the mats too.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's the shit right there.
Yeah.
Because now anytime I see someone pick up a mop, it lets me know. And again, I've said it on the show a lot. I don't have an expectation that people clean this gym for me.
Yeah.
White belts clean the mats. I don't like assign people to cleaning duties. None of that shit. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to me.
Yeah.
So if I have to blow it off and then vacuum and then mop, I'm going to gladly do that, and I'm not going to complain about it. But very, very rarely, if ever, do I find myself doing all the cleaning. The team is like jumping at the chance to contribute. And if you get 4, 5, 6 people contributing, the gym gets clean in 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And the kids are already starting to key in on that,
Yeah.
dude. And it was Aaron that actually said it. He's like, I think when the kids stay for adult class, they should start cleaning the gym. That should be like an expectation of theirs. And I'm like, I like that, but they're already doing it on their own. I don't want to put it out there as an expectation.
Yeah.
I want to just let it become like organically. That's what happens.
Same thing, whether it's kids or white belts, right? If that's the expectation, then it kind of, the integrity kind of, it's wishy-washy, right?
Well, the thing is, it's like, why, if a black belt, say a black belt's been here, we have black belts like Mark and Dan that have both been part of this team for over 10 years now. They have more ownership and investment in this facility than someone that's been here 2 weeks. They would, if they're eager to take care of the place, that shows the longevity and the relationship that the team has with the gym and with each other.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's why, like, I love it when we have like an army of purple belts cleaning the mats at the end of practice, because that shows people like, I'm not doing this because I have to. I'm doing this because I like to contribute and give back.
And those that want to do it and give back are doing it in the way that you would like it done, or you would have done it yourself.
Yeah, 100%. Dude.
Right?
Yep.
If we delegate that to white belts that barely know their ass from their feet when they're doing a forward roll, that's going to translate into them cleaning the mat. It's going to be like half-assed. They haven't even built themselves in here long enough.
That's right,
to
dude.
feel like buying. It's going to be like, man, fuck this shit. Why am I doing this shit? Like,
well,
you know.
and what people, one thing that gets left out of this conversation is it's not just a respect thing or a camaraderie thing. Bro, it's a safety thing. If your facility is not cleaned daily to a proper standard, people start getting fucking sick.
Yeah.
We've both seen it we've both trained at those nasty gyms.
That was going to be my point exactly. That's a result of having white belts do your shit
right.
while you go and do other things that are not important to.
And like we sit here as brown and black belts promoting all the power, all the lessons, all the connection that you gain from the mats, but we don't want to put in the work to take care of the mats. If you're not willing to respect your own mats, then really all the other stuff that we talk about is just fucking lip service.
Yeah, 100%.
What have you noticed? You said like, we've been downstairs now for a while, and you've kind of reflected on the journey and what's changed and how the program's grown. What are things that you've noticed that you think just bring value to the conversation?
Yeah, so, I mean, since coming downstairs, right? Like we were growing. That's the whole reason why we moved downstairs. Mm-hmm. But I've just seen this gym grown exponentially more in not just attendance, but also the energy, the spirit of the gym, the type of men and women that are signing up, all the way down to the kids that are showing up. It's like everybody that shows up needs this place, and this place has been a good provider of everything that everybody needs.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the biggest thing. It's just, it's not like I was wondering when this thing was going to die down. It was just more of like, damn, I need to keep up with the attendance here. Like my jiu-jitsu needs to stay on par for the kids. I need to start regulating more, start learning more, and start actually writing a program for the kids that, if it has to be SOPs, that's going to be between me and my coaches, and that we were doing all the things the same. So yeah, there's a lot of growth, and it's a great problem to have.
I think one of the biggest aspects of growth is that we have a fairly large area for spectators now.
Yeah.
Meaning moms and dads and siblings, like everybody can sit and watch practice now.
Yeah.
And because when we were upstairs, for people that have never been here, it's literally a stairwell into a mat room. And so, we have one couch that maybe 4 people can sit on, and that's really about it. There's some cubbies that have like a place you can sit on, but still, when you got 35 kids upstairs, maybe 8 people are able to watch, right?
Yeah.
now that we're able to like show the families, show the parents, especially show the moms the power of jiu-jitsu, that's why we've seen so many moms sign up now.
Yeah, no,
And,
it's awesome.
we've had fucking, 10 moms sign up in the last 4 months.
Yeah.
And bro, I love it because the moms, I'm seeing this little like club of moms that have the bug now.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I want to try this. It's like that new white belt to blue belt obsession with jiu-jitsu where you have to know more constantly. And I'm hearing stories of the husbands that are like, fuck, man, we get home from practice and she's like, wait, let me work that triangle setup a couple more times before we go to bed. And as soon as that happens, as soon as the moms are involved, now it's a family dynamic, and that's the fucking magic, bro.
I mean, that's like one of the biggest goals that I see from our gym, you know, of strengthening the community and just, you know, making more formidable, you know, people that are going to be members of our community.
The fucking women, dude. Like,
yeah, it's wild. Like, you know how we always say we'll go to a village and kill all their men and take their women? And they're not doing that shit.
You ain't taking our fucking women, dude.
No, they're going to kill you.
Yeah. And you know what's funny too, man, is it's like we got some women that are like, I don't know, 5'3", 100 pounds. And you just expect them to be like dainty and frail. And they're like a wild animal, dude.
Yeah.
And we got a handful of those ladies. And it's like, it's been an exciting journey for me watching these women start to pursue martial arts because it's like, oh, they got some fucking fury in them too that needs to get sorted out. Like we always think that that's a problem for us.
Yeah.
I think it's a problem for everybody, dude.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. And like what a place to allow women to bring their children and the kids can be out in the yard playing while their moms are doing jiu-jitsu. Moms and dads at the same time.
Yeah. And then if the kids come in and want to talk to mom,
oh yeah,
your wife will let them have it, dude. Get outside right now.
Get outside. I don't think their kids' parents even talk to those kids like that.
No, no, dude. And they like it though.
Yeah,
they
the
like
parents
it.
love that.
The Islander vibe of being able to just fucking throw down, but throw down out of love.
Yeah.
And no one argues with Crystal either.
No.
You know what I'm saying, dude? She says, hey, get outside right now. They're like, yes, ma'am. That's the vibe, you know?
And, you know, even when Professor Dan is teaching, because I know if you're teaching, I'm teaching, we'll regulate on the noise, like the outside noise.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to teach technique and they have background noise, so people are not paying attention. You see all your people like looking around.
Oh,
like, where's that noise? And
nuts,
it's like,
dude.
man. And
But
it's the kids.
we'll call it out.
Yeah.
Especially if it gets bad enough, dude.
And I see Professor Dan kind of just going with the flow, like trying to raise his volume up, and it's already at his highest, you know?
Yeah.
And then you just hear Crystal just regulate. And you see Dan just like, and it's like, thank you.
She's like, I got you, bro.
I got you. Yeah. No, it's great to see. Not only men and children, but now women starting to get into it. We've been at different gyms and we've seen like the women that join they were really moms. They were like young girls that want to get into fighting or just found their way into a hobby, maybe because of their job or through a friend. But in this case, like we're seeing actual moms like become the first women's, you know, jiu-jitsu of the gym.
And the women's class, even though it's one day a week, Thursday night now, one of Christy, a purple belt here, runs a women's only program. And that's also key, man. Yeah. Because there are plenty of women that have an interest in something like this, but they don't want one of us on top of them on their first day, you know? And a lot of them think they would never want, I've heard that. I never want to train with men.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And then you start training real jiu-jitsu with Christy and Val and like getting those kind of roles. It's not long before, at least what I've seen, there's some of them that haven't come downstairs yet and trained with the guys, but plenty of them have now.
The ones that have came are like consistently. They're doing both the gi classes and the women's class.
That's right, dude. It's fucking rad.
No, it's crazy because even when I get a chance to coach like your classes when you're out of town, and the ladies are in there, I always tell them, because they always want to ask for, more details on the technique. So that's kind of like my one-on-one time with them. And I share the same sentiment that I do with the young girls in kids class. The likelihood of somebody that's going to attack you it doesn't look like me, or it doesn't look like your classmate, or it's going to be somebody that's ugly, that has no care for you, that wants to hurt you.
Yeah.
That's who you're fighting. So if you worry about sweat, all that stuff, like, it's the time to get over that.
Yeah, who gives a shit about that? Well, and also, like, me and Lappin have talked about this a lot on the show. I think for your jujitsu to work in like a violent encounter, I always say for men it's blue belt, and for women it's purple belt.
Yeah.
I just think that it's the size and strength disparity between those sexes is something that you cannot not take account for.
Yeah.
But bro, I've been watching Rachel put her jiu-jitsu together a lot lately.
She's turned it on.
She's turning it on,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And it's and I'm watching her going into a phase, and sorry if this doesn't sound PC or whatever, but it's clear to me that she is enjoying testing her jiu-jitsu against white belt men.
Yeah.
Like big, strong, athletic men that don't know anything, and she's getting down.
Yeah.
And it's making me happy, because it's like, okay, that's exactly I think women have a lot to gain from training with other women too, especially if you want to be a competitor, right? Because you have to learn that female energy.
Yeah.
But I do think it's good for women, if they are comfortable enough, start stepping into those uncomfortable rounds with guys that are bigger and stronger than you, and using jujitsu, use your technique. And that's where it starts to all come together.
Yeah. No, it's good. I've seen a couple of her rolls, and it's huge difference. It's a huge difference. It's kind of like the difference between an abundant mindset and a mindset of like scarcity, not wanting to test the waters and dive deeper into like where she's failing. She just wants to remain comfortable and roll with the people that are going to make it fun and make her time enjoyable on the mat.
And a lot of people inevitably, including her and including me, you go through seasons where you find yourself choosing the roles that are that.
Yeah.
They're roles that you can control, or roles that you can not even necessarily win, but you have a good understanding with the other person.
And you can learn from.
Yeah. And it's like, sometimes fucking, and that's why one of my ethos is I won't turn down a role. Unless it's something egregious, I'm injured or whatever, right?
No, there's just certain people that already know that they don't deserve a role. Just name it. Just name it.
No, bro. No, but if people fucking ask me for a role, then one of my ethos is like, I have to say yes.
Of course, and that's one thing I respect about you and your gym, right? Because there's a lot of other gyms where black belts only roll with black belts, and it's just kind of like, man, if this is your product, bro, like, why are you keeping it on the shelf?
Yeah.
Well,
and the thing is, it's like, we talk about it all the time, bro. The color of your belt, it covers 2 inches of your ass. You got to cover the rest, and bro, you want to start fucking hiding for whatever reason you have to hide. That vibe is going to be picked up on immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, I've been injured for a while. I know there's nobody on the mats who are like, fucking Greg's not rolling because of blah, blah. Because I've already built the culture, and I've already shown like my ethos on the mats. So now that I'm hurt, okay, now I can take a break. And when I come back, I'm going to be smart about who I roll with. But if you're healthy and you're feeling good and you're a black belt, you should be in the mix with the team.
Yeah.
You should be. Bro, just like, fuck, dude. Adam Wierzinski came up here and he rolled with anyone and everyone.
Yeah.
He has a lot more to lose than anyone else.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of young fucking kids out there that are monsters right now, and you never even fucking heard of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so fuck, we watched that play out during that when him and Aaron Teagues went.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example of that. A young up and comer whose jiu-jitsu is fucking top of the food chain, and him and Adam had a war, and it's like he's just showing up and seeing what's up with everybody, dude, And that's how practice should be.
That's like way out of my league, bro. That's exactly what Aaron Teagues and Adam Warzinski is exactly what Greg Lappin calls rocket surgery. That's
Yeah.
if you try to break things down, it's a combination of both.
Yeah. So you watched that round then?
Yeah.
And bro, it was like, it's jiu-jitsu happening at the highest level, and the littlest angles, the littlest pressure, the tiniest advantage of a grip or whatever changes everything.
Yeah.
It was cool to fucking watch.
It's like playing that game, where you get one move and then I get the next move. It was like that, just back and forth.
Yeah. But also, I think Aaron is he's a good enough human being that Aaron's going to bring his jiu-jitsu to the world championship level at the world championship stage.
Yeah.
We're going to see him do that. Like he's the guy to
Probably
do that.
see them together.
Yeah, fuck yeah, right?
Yeah, on the big stage.
But he was also being very respectful and like bringing the right kind of energy and not like, fuck, now's my chance, right? Because bro, when I would travel with Joao and do seminars, and this was when he was like fresh off of being an ADCC champion. Yeah. So like in the grappling world, he was holding a pretty legendary status, and you'd see kids like, now's my fucking chance. Because he'd roll with the guys afterwards too, right? And it's like, dude, don't bring a guy that is the reigning world champion that fucking now's my chance energy. Because even if you get him, it doesn't mean shit, dude. Yeah. In the grand scheme of things, go do what they did if you want to take from that moment.
Yeah. No, that's exactly, yep. You don't want to like try to make like shut somebody down and just let yourself shine.
Yeah.
Like just for once. But nothing to show for it. Only people that were there are going to hear about it.
Yeah. Well, you see that dude, you see that video that went pretty viral, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, where a guy did that to Craig Jones at the end of a seminar. And even the way he approached it, he's like, you and me, let's go. And it's like, what? Yeah. There's a part of me that would almost be like, you know what, dude, fuck you, right?
Yeah, I would just be that guy.
Instead of fucking giving that, but Craig Jones fucking locked onto his foot and fucking fucked that dude up.
That's what you get.
That's what you get, right?
Yeah. No, it's wild. Like you have to know how to present yourself and also know how to be receiving things. Like I remember we were upstairs still, and I had a roll with Mohammed.
Okay.
From Cascade.
Fucking beast.
And that's not a light roll, and that's after rolling with KC, who was also from Cascade, who's also a beast.
Yeah.
And Will Walker brought them over and said, Will, I want you to roll with these guys. It's like, you're a beast. I brought you some
Will,
beast.
you got to start fucking like, well, he moved now, so it's no longer an issue, but you got to give us a heads up when you're bringing your generals out, dude.
Bro, it was wild.
Bro,
and
to this day, Casey's base is one of the most immovable bases I've ever used jiu-jitsu on.
You know who reminds me of Casey? Jordan.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, bro, just Jordan. But then like a lot more concrete, like just like trying to kick it in a college block.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy how people that weigh the same, that really learn how to control their weight, can feel. I mean, Casey's base, everybody says like, oh, you feel 500 pounds, right? I'm not exaggerating when I say that with him, right? I can get good butterfly connection. I can get good grips. I can load his weight where it feels like it should be loaded. And I go to elevate and it's just like fucking cement.
Yeah. No, it's I can attest to that.
But you were saying you got that roll with Muhammad.
I got the roll with Muhammad, and just as we're slapping and bumping, Bill goes, bro, this guy is a machine gun, bro. So I just tuned into, okay, we're just not going to stop. We're going to keep moving. For 6 minutes, we're just going to keep moving. And I just kept playing that in my mind, like, Will, you're always your problem is when you're on the bottom, your hips get stuck to the ground.
Yeah.
Like, you got to hip escape, do something, change this base pattern, make something happen. So it was just like that. And he's just jumping over. And I just kept thinking, like, this motherfucker is just trying to gas me out right now. because I'm getting gassed out. And all of a sudden I came up.
You're like, I know he's trying to do this because it's happening.
Yeah, all of a sudden I came up and I turtled north and south. And I just had my lapel, I wrapped it around his neck, and I just sat back and put a Peruvian on him.
Oh, wow.
And he looked at me and he goes, that was fucking awesome, Will. So I didn't know how to receive that, you know, because you're always thinking like people are giving you a chance, you know. It's like, and he's like, no, for real. I was like, oh, don't play with me, dude. He's like, no, you have to teach me that. I said, now you're making this worse. He's like, no, you have to teach me. When the time is up, you got to teach me. So he forced me to show him the Peruvian. And I was like, bro, I'm pretty sure you know more of this than I do.
Yeah, but bro, even the best guys in the world, man, like Joao, I showed Joao the Von Flu. He's like, wait, what do you mean you can choke from here? I was like, are you serious, dude? Yeah. And he's like, no, show me how you choke from here if they keep the guillotine grip. And I showed him, and he's like, fuck, man, bro, that works. Yeah. You know, and it's like, so no matter how good you are, well, there's the beauty of jiu-jitsu in itself too, though, because you can be as good as Muhammad, and if you and Muhammad compete, he's gonna fucking win 9 out of 10 times. Yep. That doesn't mean you don't have jiu-jitsu to show him. Yeah. Case in point, you know.
Yeah. No, it was, and that's to your point of the Craig Jones, right? It's like the way we entered and then the way we exited that role.
Yeah.
It's total opposite from
that's right.
Like that. Like my energy wasn't, all right, you're from Cascade, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh shit, like a black belt, you know that.
And not only a black belt, but his reputation precedes himself.
Bro.
And I said it on the podcast too, because him and I rolled, I think it was that same night. And I remember like, I know his resume and I know that he's a better black belt than me. That's just reality. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, I know this guy will likely beat me, but he's not going to make me look stupid in front of my students.
Yeah.
Period. And then we had a fucking great round, dude. Yeah. You know, and it's just like,
no, it's through that too. Like rolling with people like Bill and Muhammad and you. It's like, I've come to know, man, everything that challenges you with the people that you love to roll with, those are the things you need to get better at.
Yes.
That's the one that's going to make you who you want to be on the mat.
And you know, the craziest thing is the people that can push you to the growth, that they're also the same ones that there's that voice in your head that's like, oh, not today.
Yeah.
Don't make eye contact, not today, right? Because it's like, you know that fucking in the fire is where you're forged.
Yeah.
But there's still a part of you that's like, other than Mark, I don't think Mark has ever like considered not going for the hardest rolls in the room every single time, every single practice for 10 years.
Bro, that guy, I remember rolling with him too upstairs, and I did something to him, and you're like, you're going to get it next. You treat my black belts like that. And I was like, bro, what? We're rolling, professor.
I don't remember saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have the photographic memory. So if you said I said it.
That was wild. It's like, okay, he's always watching, I guess. Just when you think he's not. But yeah, just to touch on Rachel Anderson one more time, I just want to give her credit because I did see her a couple times pull the move of the day against white belt men.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I can see like she wants to like celebrate it. That's the reason why I didn't like give her, you know, I didn't congratulate her at that time because she needs to.
I'm giving her very, very subtle recognition, dude.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
Because here's the other side of it. That's a new teammate too that just got submitted by a girl. So like there are those emotions taking place too.
Yeah.
So you can't make a deal out of it because now that's going to diminish how he feels.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll literally do it in an angle where only she can see and just give like a little head nod. Like, I saw that. I'm proud of you. That's good.
Hence why I'm doing it now because it's the best time to do it.
Yeah. That's
rather than doing it on the mat. You know, it's no different than a dad trying to coach a little girl beating up a little boy. You know, like, shut up, dude.
One thing that I have noticed, I actually addressed it to the team on Monday, is that I'm seeing people start to allow jiu-jitsu to just happen to a point where, I don't know how to phrase this properly. They're starting to get a little reckless because if transitioning from side control to mount isn't perfectly textbook, what typically happens is they can get a regard during that and capture one of your legs. Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of things like that happening constantly. And so I told the team, I said, if you're good enough to pass someone's guard, in my opinion, you're good enough to transition from side control to mount.
Yeah.
That should, like, I shouldn't be seeing
is this
good guard pass.
Kids or adults?
Adults. And it's like, they're just kind of, it's almost like we're not flow rolling, but they're not taking those things serious. Yeah. And it's like, hey, I'm not saying every minute of every roll has to have like this competition mindset, but you do start to build patterns with how you move, right? And one thing that Hickson says, he's like, he looks at himself as like an object in motion.
Linear motion.
Yeah, linear motion. And the direction he's going is to victory.
Yeah.
And nothing stopping that. And along that path is, okay, I'm going to find the guard pass. That's the first part of this path. And now we're on to the next phase, dominant position, then good pressure, then proper grips. Now I start setting up my submissions. Now I isolate. Now I finish. And he's like, your jiu-jitsu, you should never, ever think about like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. If that's how you're winning your matches, you have to be able to psychologically convince yourself there are no steps backwards anymore. Now, obviously, somebody else gets a vote in what the fuck's happening. And if they hip bump or they do whatever at the right timing, now it is a step backwards. I understand that's part of what we're doing. But what I've seen is I think a lot of people's step backwards is almost subconsciously their own doing. So I'm trying to work that out of people.
I would say it is, because then maybe they're rolling with people that are not pushing them harder. Mm-hmm. So they're just getting by with more. And then they bring that to the other person that's going to give them more. And then they end up getting caught in like half guard, or somebody getting regarded. Yeah. But they're not collecting that as they progress forward.
Yep. And don't get me wrong. There's a big distinction between somebody that, like, if I'm purposefully allowing someone to train and I get mount and then they capture my foot into quarter guard and then they turn their hip over and they're back into half guard. If I'm allowing that to happen for training purpose, that's one thing. But what I'm seeing is not people allowing it to happen. It's just starting to get a little sloppy, and people that are worse than you are capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
We can't have that shit, dude.
It's like watching kids class.
Yes.
Like somebody is just thinking they can pull guard with their both feet on the ground.
Or, and I actually also made a public announcement about this on Monday, because I saw it happen twice in competition and blue and purple belt. So it shouldn't be happening in competition. But at the end of the day, it's like Jocko says, there's no bad teams, only bad leaders.
Yeah.
This is on me if people are still doing this at this level. But like, you start to get tangled up in guard and you start to get swept, and then you just decide, you know what, instead of trying to be a passer, I'm going to start playing guard too. And then the other person comes up and it's like, where the fuck did I ever show you to do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I saw it happen twice, and it's like, all right, we got some shit to talk about.
It's crazy.
That's
no,
crazy.
And since we're on the topic of bad leader, I'm not, like, I have to give myself grace, and I'm a leader that's like a work in progress as well.
Of course.
And I see,
every leader's a work in progress, bro.
I was thinking to myself, like, I was like, man, we've been at this for a couple years now. Like, the kids should be a little bit more, sound with the details and the technique. And then I just had to sit myself down and give myself grace. Like, bro, we're kind of still in our infancy right now. Like,
well, dude, we have a handful of yellow belts.
Yeah.
We got 2 orange belts, a handful of yellow belts, and a fuckload of gray belts. I don't attribute a gray belt to a blue belt. I don't.
No.
Because a lot of times people will say, like, they'll look at the kids' ranks, they'll look at the kids or the adult ranks and be like, so basically a gray belt's a blue belt, a yellow belt's a purple belt, an orange belt's a brown belt, and a green belt's a black belt, right? Or whatever, the how you can draw those parallels. But you got a lot of kids that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
And they've trained a long time.
Yeah.
And they're good teammates. They have good attitudes. Their jiu-jitsu just isn't on par yet. And if you've been here a year as a good kid with a good attitude and you're putting in effort, you're going to get a grand white belt. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
And so, like, I understand that like you said, we're in our infancy when it comes to the young kids program.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why I kind of set a year in review, right? Because I've been studying a lot, like my coaching style. Professor Andy's ran a couple classes. I had Tobin run class, just to watch how the kids react to him. Igor's had his fair share. We do comp class. So I've been taking a lot of notes from all of those, and I got a program. So now I'm just trying to fit and write a program that's really going to be beneficial to kids at wherever they're at, the stages that they're at right now. And that way they can all get the same training, but just at the level that they're feeling. So if it means that I go take this 12 kids to the corner with Professor Andy and they're like the beginners, and then Tobin and Igor can have their share of like the middle to, the kids that are yellow belts.
Yeah.
And kind of progress like that. And that way we can kind of meet them where they're at. So the advanced would keep working on advancing the details and their technique. And then we're just going to try to help the lower kids get up to par with where they can be good enough to create space and do basic sweeps, understand grips and grip fighting instead of just playing, like patty cake and ring around the rosy.
Well, bro, you go down and see some of those 6-year-old girls from your old team.
Bro.
They look like fucking brown belts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there is a path to get there.
Yeah.
But here's the other side of that coin is like, those guys are your homies and you could go down there and pick their brains and like certainly see some things that are working for them. But what I've noticed about your own gym is it's just a lot of trial and error to find the best path for your team. Yeah. And like, again, there are some standards that are going to help gyms obtain that faster. But at the end of the day, there's growing pains that there's no shortcut to the top of those.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where I'm leading to, right? I cannot blame the kids for if the kids are having issues or having a hard time. It's always going to be my fault for not providing them with the right lessons or the right techniques or the right way to make them understand what we're trying to provide for them.
Well, bro, and I'm still there too, because like I don't know, I haven't landed on exactly what's perfect because there's probably not something that's perfect, but when people come and roll and our blue belts and above put their hands on people, what do we hear every single Friday night?
Yes, they're savages.
Whoa, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
This team, you guys get after, you guys get down. Like I hear compliments like that constantly to the point where it's built a local reputation. Like, hey, you want to go get some gnarly rounds? Go train with the electric guys, right? Like people know that. But I was teaching X-Guard last week, and I don't know if you were there for that practice or not, but it was a X-Guard transition into omoplata. And there's a handful of our blue belts whose omoplatas were full of holes.
Yeah.
And I was like, now they can fucking roll hard and they can beat a lot of blue belts. But if your armbar to triangle to omoplata chain together sequence isn't fucking tight by the time you're a blue belt, I told this to the class. I said, I feel like I failed you.
Yeah.
And so one thing that has been tremendously beneficial, and if you own an academy, I promise you doing this, and it might not be feasible for you guys because it takes up a lot of space, but a secondary mat room changes a lot.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what you're saying, because in kids class, you don't have 2 mat rooms to use because both mat rooms are being used simultaneously during your hour. So you're going to start dividing them up amongst your class.
Yeah.
Being able to put the beginners upstairs and the more advanced downstairs. I mean, bro, we had a class a week or 2 ago where there was like 20 something people and 1 white belt. Jeez. And then we had 20 white belts upstairs with Mark's beginners class.
Yeah.
And I think that is going to pay dividends long term because it's showing people just focus on the fundamentals for a while. And then come downstairs and learn fucking Kiss of the Dragon and Inverted De La Hiva and all the fancy shit. But the fundamentals win fights, man.
No, it makes sense too with the way Professor Mark does it, because I've helped him a couple of times and I witnessed his coaching style. It's the same way that I coach my style. I like to focus on invisible jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Like the pressure that you don't see, but the person feels.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, that's the most important thing, like understanding that.
Well, and don't mistake that for being on top of people.
Yeah.
Because your guard can have nasty pressure.
Yeah.
That was a big thing that I had to impart on the team last week with X-Guard is like, let your partner put you in X-Guard. All right, fully get all the connections, get all the grips, stretch them out, even elevate them a little bit, do everything like you saw me do. All right, now get up. Now let me put you in X-Guard. And they're like, what the fuck, dude? It feels like you're glued to me and you're clamped onto me and you're stuck. And it's like, that's the invisible jiu-jitsu. Yeah. That's pressure.
Like they want to fall just to get rid of that pressure of looking like Van Damme.
Well, yeah,
trying to do
that's
this.
right. Yeah, if you are actively inside of somebody's X-Guard, you should feel like you're surfing.
Yeah.
You should never feel like your base is comfortably underneath you.
Yeah.
If your base is comfortably underneath you while you're in somebody's X-Guard, they're not executing it properly.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I say, like, you should make them feel like they're surfing. They're constantly riding a wave, just trying to find their base. Because if their focus is finding their base, then they're in a defensive posture. They're worried about getting swept. If they have found their base and now they're sitting on their base, what's their focus now? Stripping your hooks.
Yeah.
And finding the pass. And so, like, it's a lot of psychology, but it's built around those little connections.
Yep.
And then everyone's, how do you get your hooks that tight? It's like, you hang from a bar by your toes.
Stop watching ecological jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I called out because Paul and Chase, who are primarily no-gi guys, they've been putting a gi on a lot lately. So I like busting people's balls while we're training just because it's fun,
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, sorry, when we put the gi on, not everything's live rolling. We haven't fully subscribed to ecological jiu-jitsu. And Paul goes, I just want to go live the whole time. I said, I know you do.
Yeah.
And it's working for him. He's very good, right?
Yeah, no, it's good.
But I also say this, man, like, I came up under Leo Vieira. Leo Vieira is one of the most legendary coaches of our generation. Lots of drilling, dude. Lots of drilling. And it's not bullshit drilling. Yeah. There's different aspects of drilling too, where you can fucking like, I mean, Adam talked about it. Adam Wrzezinski, when he was here, it's like, man, like some classes, they just do like a bunch of leg drags, but they don't ever incorporate the leg drag into how they roll. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
So, and the cool thing about finding drills that actually apply to live jiu-jitsu, that's part of the fun of being a coach.
No, it's wild. And I know you go through this too, because like for me, like I'm just a brown belt still, right? And you being a black belt, and then also where you trained at before. Mm-hmm. Like there's things that have crossed your mind or you learned from somebody back then you didn't quite understand that you're starting to pick up now when you're doing your own coaching. You're like, wait, this is what they meant with this, right? Like that's, to me, that's the beauty of it. Like you learn how to apply, receive it yourself, and then you learn how to teach it.
You know what we'll do? I'm having this epiphany as we're talking. We should fly Leo Vieira up and have him run a coaching seminar for us.
That would be awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously do a full gym seminar and just figure out whatever his rates would be, but be like a 90-minute session with purple belt coaches and above. Guys that are ukis, guys that are active in kids class.
Yeah.
Because I got a handful of guys that like to just come and like Johnny does, Hayden does, purple belts that like to come and just give back to kids class. Have them attend it too.
That's the way to give back to them.
Yeah. And be like, hey, the last seminar was about you. This seminar is about how to give to your team.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. And it's funny you mentioned that, because I was just about to say, we got one more quarter. I was going to try and see if we could have like a meeting, like a coaches meeting. Mm-hmm. And maybe come up with, like systems and processes for how we coach certain things, and then have different levels, like just have a general, meeting on how we can better our systems from kids class up to adults.
All right, let's do it. Let's get it on the calendar. Because, bro, the truth of my coaching style over the last year, I would say, like, I still think about jiu-jitsu a lot. I still watch a lot of jiu-jitsu. I still consume a lot of instructional. But I'm to the point now where it's like I'll write out a 10-week curriculum. And as I write it out, I'm like, okay, I got it. This all makes sense. And as I write it, the lessons are they're pretty much present in my head, right? So I don't put together comprehensive lesson plans anymore. I just kind of teach jiu-jitsu as it happens with like a hub. Yeah. Like tonight we're working triangles. And I don't really know where it's going to go. It's going to go wherever the team wants it to go.
Yeah, the needs of the team.
But that was a long time for me to get there because you have to be comfortable in a lot of your jiu-jitsu to be able to do that. And bro, when I went to Lovato's seminar, he walked out on the mats. I wish you fucking went to that, dude, because that is right up your alley. But do you know how he opened up the seminar?
No.
He goes, I don't believe in showing up at a gym and teaching my jiu-jitsu. He goes, I believe in showing up to a gym and asking how my jiu-jitsu can serve you guys best.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And he goes, so what do we want to, what is best going to serve this team based on like where you guys are at in your training cycle and whatnot? And Andrew Solheim goes, well, I really liked a lot of the pressure passing you worked, and the team's been kind of learning that stuff since you were here last time. I would love for you to expand further on pressure passing. And he goes, boom, like 2-hour seminar of the most intimate details on pressure passing just off the cuff because he knows it now.
Yeah.
And that's where knowing jiu-jitsu is an important part of being a professor, because it's like, and I'm as guilty of this as anyone. I've watched YouTube lessons and like I want to impart this lesson on my team. I'm going to teach what I consume tonight. And there is value in that, but at the end of the day, that's still teaching somebody else's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And there's a place for that. And that's why you've heard me say it. When I'm teaching somebody else's jiu-jitsu, I usually give them credit and I'm open and honest about it. Like, hey, this isn't my game. This isn't my go-to.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to see me do this in a live roll, but I want to get you guys thinking. I want you guys to experience different positions and whatnot. And then if it feels natural to you, fucking go down those rabbit holes.
Yeah. No, you're hitting it around the head. Because I mean, like I always told you, I don't teach stuff that I don't do.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever I teach, I keep, and then I go roll. I'll have that in my back pocket because it's almost 100% of the time it's my go-to moves.
Yeah.
So I'll just try to keep, finding different ways and entries and other things that I could do with that same hub.
Yeah.
And I think my hub for the longest time, guard would be lasso. And then if I get on top side control, I always almost go for the Bravo.
Yeah.
Always. Just because I want better control and I like to cook.
Well, bro, and being a one-trick pony is a good way of rolling.
Like what Bruce Lee said, bro.
If you're good at your fucking trick.
Yeah.
And so I think I've mentioned this on the podcast briefly. I didn't want to, I'm hesitant of making an official announcement just because there's some financial things that need to fall in place, and it's logistically, there's a lot that goes into this. But the more energy I put into this, the more I know that this is a reality. This isn't just an idea. And me and a crew of 3 other men are going to row a boat across the Pacific Ocean this spring.
Gee.
And it's a 50 to 70 day journey. And it's been something that I've been kicking around, and me and Tyler were talking about it. And the reason that we wanted to do this is because me and Tyler were just sitting, we were hanging out, and we were looking over the water one night, and we're like, dude, what is it about the water that just, there's something inside of it that calls you to go this way? Like, go out here and explore. And that's what men have been doing in boats since the beginning of time.
Head west.
Yeah, head fucking west and see what's up, right? There's something that calls to us. So we're going to head west on a boat, and I want to go from Washington State to Maui. That's where we want to, that's the route we want to go. There's a whole lot of reasons behind why we want to do this, because it's like whatever that thing is that's kind of calling to you to do something, most people will just shelf that. they'll think about it, they'll talk about it, but very few people will actually pull the trigger on a really like adventurous expedition. And Tyler literally said, like, dude, instead of fucking like just talking about this thing inside of us, let's actually do the thing.
Talk about it when you do it.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, that's all that needs to be said. I said, I'm giving you a commitment. I'm in. If you're in, I'm in. He says, I'm in.
So there's 4 of you guys?
Yeah.
And it's you, Tyler, and
Johnny Martinez.
Okay.
And Finn. Do you know Finn? Tyler's fucking stud little protege.
Oh, the mountain biker kid?
He's a Bering Sea fisherman. So, I mean, he knows what
I think I've heard Finn on Tyler's podcast.
Okay. He's a cool fucking dude, man. Yeah. He's young. He's 21 years old, but he's a young stud that's very familiar with big waters. And I proposed it to him. And you want to know the cool thing is I opened up a group thread with me and Tyler and proposed it to the other two. And within seconds, dude, I am 100% in. Like, that's no awesome. Questions. No, what are the dates? Well, how long are we going to be gone? Like, no questions about fucking safety or food or concerns or support. It was none of that. It was like, yeah, we're in 100%.
Bro, the universe will provide.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah. Right? And here's the thing. We know, like, when previous generations of men were called to get on a boat and go explore, they didn't have a Garmin. They didn't have a map system that let them know where every single fucking rock outcropping is. They didn't have Starlink so they can send updates to their wife, right? Like, I get that we are light years ahead of where men that are just going out there and exploring are at. I get that. But this is the truth. The ocean doesn't fucking care about your technology. Yeah. It doesn't care about your preparation. Mother Nature will be who Mother Nature is, and you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to endure it. Yeah. And whatever she decides we need to endure is what we will endure.
Yeah.
And bro, on one hand, we're putting ourselves in a prison. And on the other hand, we're becoming completely free.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
100%, yeah.
What other time in your life can you say those two things? Yeah. Like, dude, I'm isolating myself to the greatest degree that I will ever be isolated from humanity, and I'll also be the freest I've ever fucking been. And the more I think about this, the more it excites me, dude.
You know what, Professor? There's nothing worse than taking the seeds to the grave with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it be the universe or God himself that gave you a path, and you have all the seeds to plant along the way, and you decide to keep them for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That's the shit that haunts me.
It should, bro, because we're here to do. Yeah. We're here to do, man. Like, everybody has their different spirituality beliefs, but like when I was talking to Tyler about it, he's like, I'm here in the physical form. I'm incarnated as a human being on planet Earth.
Yeah.
We should be doing human being shit.
Yeah.
Like that is a human experience that like was very normal for a lot of throughout history.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, right? You said you're gonna have access to all the technology and stuff that would kind of help you guide. In and of itself, it's still an exploration, regardless.
Yeah, an internal exploration as well as an external exploration.
Because it's not something that you're used to.
Yeah,
like traveling, rowing.
And bro,
fucking rowing in the dark pointing at somewhere you haven't seen.
Following a fucking star,
And then all the exploration that you're doing within yourself, like you said, being in a prison.
Yeah.
You're going to have all the time to yourself. You guys are going to get tired of talking about the same damn things. You guys are going to start talking about greater things that's going to come out of it.
Yep. And my goal for it, it's funny because I actually I've been working out. If you guys follow me on Instagram, I've been posting about getting in the best shape of my life by May. And that's what this is for. And I'm going to row every day. And today was my first row.
Okay, so I got a question. So you said like 70 days is the top. So how much rowing does each person have to do average?
On average, you're rowing 50% of the time. So you're on a row, you're rowing 12 hours out of a 24-hour period, right? And here's the thing, man. It's like we're not world-class athletes, but I know how fucking tough my body is when I need it to be. So I don't fucking care what my resume says I can do. I know what I can do. And I know Tyler's the same way.
Yeah.
And I know Johnny's the same way. And that in itself is that's the grit people need to persevere.
Yeah. And then you guys kind of have that amongst yourselves, you know, like you're amongst your peers, right? Like if I was rowing, like not only do I have the endurance to withstand however long I'm going to go, like you guys are like the men that I'm looking up to that are looking at me.
Yeah.
You know, so like that's added pressure. You're like, fuck, like it's not going to be fast.
No,
but,
that's the thing, man.
You know,
the rows are, cause I had a program built around wanting to be in this kind of shape. And there's training rows that are 6 hours. I'll be on that erg for 6 hours, right? Well, bro, it's not a Sean Baker erg performance where like you watch Sean do it and he's trying to set like quarter mile records. You know what I mean? Where he's just about to rip the fucking chain right off the erg.
Yeah.
This is going to be about basically being able to put a rucksack on your back and move for 12 hours a day. Right?
Like how do you say that when you guys used to go running? Like no destination or whatever.
Oh, unknown time, unknown distance.
Yeah, that's the mindset.
Yep.
That's
and
the
so
mindset.
it's like, dude, we're walking.
Yeah.
That's the level of exertion, except you're doing it in a rowing capacity. Yeah. But it's about being able to sustain a low amount of cardiovascular output for a really, really long duration of time. Yeah. And bro, I need something to be excited for. I need something on the horizon because I've realized when I have something on the horizon that I know like, fuck, this date is coming.
Yeah.
That means on this date, the guy that shows up, it's not like, oh, he should be, or hopefully it's like, no, on this fucking date, I know who I'm going to be. And I need that in my life, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I put together this expedition. We're proposing it to different companies right now. Obviously, I'm hopeful that we can have some partnerships with companies that I already work with, but we'll see where those different negotiations go. So I'll put this out there. If anyone knows of any companies that would be in alignment with a journey like that, connect us, right? And there's big companies. There's GoPro. There's Red Bull. There's big companies that like to get behind adventures. So we'll see what happens. But what I've landed on is even if I have to self-fund this, then that's going to be what it is. If I have to take out a big fucking loan and buy this boat and make this happen, then so be it.
Yeah.
Because I won't regret doing this once it's over.
For as long as I've known you, you've always told me you want to go sell the world.
Yes, dude. No, I've forever. That's what I've wanted to do forever. And then I was like, let's take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Let's get a little crazier, right? But here's another thing that I'm excited about this happening is that I'm excited to step away from the gym for a month and a half and let this team and let the coaches and let this facility show every single person here that it's not about me, bro. Like, I love that I got to kind of build the foundation of this gym. I love that I got to, I built the structure. I started this thing, but this thing is not me anymore. And so it's like, what a gift to be able to give to the academy and the other coaches. And you know me, obviously, if people are putting in work here or they're going to be compensated, I'm going to take care of the coaches. But at the same time, I'm excited for the gym to go through a phase of growth absent of me. Yeah. I think it's necessary, dude.
It is 100% necessary. And it's by no mistake that, I'm asking for a meeting.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to implement some organization, to have a structure for, in the case of your absence, which I know you told me that, and I've always been planning for that. Not that I want you gone, but when you leave, like, we're going to carry on until you come back.
Yeah.
I hope that when you guys are halfway between here and Maui, that the revolution pops off and we're over here feeding people into the wood chipper and you guys are out in the water, It's like, yeah, fuck you. We're having all the fun here now.
Hell yeah, dude.
The
other thing that has really motivated me to do this is I talked about it briefly last week, and I don't think I articulated it as well as I should have. But I think a big problem with our society is that we as men are living in a relatively consequence-free manner, right? Now, it's very easy when you see like someone berating someone at a fucking protest where they're like in someone's face and they're like, you're a fucking racist fascist, fuck you. And they're like, and it's like, oh, you don't operate in consequence.
You know, when you do that, I want to punch your face.
Yeah, of course you do. Because I get the ugly fucking trans liberal fucking facial expressions. But a lot of people operate in a manner that is outside of consequences. And it's like, if somebody spoke to our fathers like that in the 80s, what would have happened? We both know what would have happened because I witnessed things like that happening as a little boy. Yeah. My dad was a commercial fisherman. You've told me plenty of stories about your old man. He's a hard motherfucker, right? Yeah. And not everybody has to be the hardest motherfucker in the world. But I do think everybody needs to arrive at a place where being disrespected is not something that should be normal. If people are actively disrespecting you, there should be some type of consequence for that, right?
Yeah.
And then I realized something. It's not only consequences in how we interact with each other, but it's consequences of the journey of life that we're on. And if you never push yourself outside of your comfort zones in your relationships, in your business, in your physical fitness, if you don't push yourself outside of your comfort zone, then you are not putting yourself in a place to optimally grow. Well, here's a fact about things that push you outside of your comfort zone. A lot of times they come with consequences. That's the truth, right? Yeah. So you put a goal in front of you that's like, man, I want to become this thing. There's a lot that can go wrong. And when you're operating inside of a reality where a lot can go wrong, what I have seen time and time again, men rise to the occasion and they show up the best version of themselves. And this is why I've seen so many good men through two different avenues, and that's special operations and it's martial arts. Because both of those activities, when you show up, man, things aren't going to go your way like you hope they do.
No.
You're stepping into a realm where even if you do everything right, shit still goes wrong and there are consequences.
Yeah.
Well, consequences are something that are good for us because it helps us it helps us tighten up our shot group. It helps us change the trajectory, even the most subtle amount, to try and show up and be the best that we can be. And if you deviate left or right a little bit, there's consequences.
Yeah.
That's why fighters and that's why special operations soldiers are typically like pretty grounded people because that's been their whole life. And I was thinking, man, I haven't done something with high stakes in a while. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to go get in a wingsuit and try and set a record, like, because all those guys die doing that, right? Like,
that's wild.
Yeah, there's a point of diminishing returns where it's like, okay, I'm embarking on things with consequences that are so high that I'm almost being reckless, right? And every man has to figure out where that balance point is for him.
I mean, you can probably just get a high from rolling with Andy Stump and talking to him about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And Andy's the first to tell you, bro, half of my friends from the wingsuit days are dead now, you know? And so it's like, I'm not saying go out there and do something that's fucking going to get you killed. And if you're not doing that, you're not growing and you're not hard. That's not what I'm saying. Because the truth is, I wouldn't be going on this journey if I thought in my heart of hearts I was going to die from it. Yeah. Like, I'm going to persevere, but I know to persevere through something long, arduous, and difficult, if you don't keep showing up and you're not the person that you need to be, it can have a catastrophic consequence.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like, yes, finally.
And that's what I was trying to, kind of highlight onto earlier. Like, that's the part of the exploration, because you're not only seeking new grounds for yourself, but then that's also now for everybody that's watching to learn from, in the sense you're helping society, get stronger. They're understanding your perspectives.
Yeah.
They're seeing all the consequences that you're going through, what you're doing to elevate yourself, what's beating you down, how vulnerable you are, which a lot of men that come here, that's kind of the first thing that they find is their vulnerability.
They have to
just say, yeah, bro, I don't know this shit.
No, and that's why I think this is gonna be good for everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good for the gym. It's gonna be good for. I mean, me and Tyler talked. We're gonna keep the podcast going. It might be 20-minute episodes because we got a bunch of other shit to worry about,
Yeah.
right? But if I can upload 20 minutes a week of being like, hey, lessons of the high seas for the last 7 days,
Yeah.
you know, like there's gonna be a lot of value to share. And for me, that's fucking exciting, dude.
No, it is exciting for me too. You know, like I always go back to it, man. I was sent here, and I know for damn sure why. Because I found my purpose here, and just latching on to you guys and the likes of you, you know, I found more power. And I remember saying this to somebody back in my 20s that I want to start a revolution one day.
Yeah.
Right? And it's all coming into fruition. Like why I don't like certain things, why I don't like the government, why I quit my job, you know, why am I attached to you? Why are we growing spiritually?
Yeah.
You know, why are we finding new ways to elevate ourselves at our old age?
Yep.
You know, with fucking receding hairlines, and we're still like trying to get after it.
Yeah.
You know, nobody showed us that. I mean, there was a lot of value from people before us, you know, hard work, respect, all the great things, but nobody ever showed us themselves getting beat down and how they come back from it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like us, you know, and if I was going to go out and, you know, get into a gunfight with fucking police because I punched somebody in the face and now that's how I'm going to go out, then we were made for a time such as this.
Mm-hmm. No, dude, I agree, man. And the other thing that I think is important to, you know, I always say leadership 101, ask nothing of your men you're unwilling to do yourself. Not that I'm asking people to get on a boat for 70 fucking days, but I do think if you're asking people to show courage, to show up, to push themselves, to test themselves, to be uncomfortable, if that's the message that I preach to people and I'm not actively practicing it, then I'm a fucking charlatan. And this is the truth about your courage and your resilience. Bro, your courage and your resilience is similar to your fitness. Like you can hone it and you can get it to where it's operating at a very, very high level. But if you just rest on past allocates and being like, oh, well, you know, when I was in Ramadi, you know, well, cool. What I did when I was 25, there was some courageous things that I did that I'm proud of, but that has little to no bearing on who I am right now at this point. Yeah. I mean, that shit was fucking over 20 years ago now, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
And so, you know, my book is like, my book is literally almost done. It's on its last round of editing right now. And then I've already hired the team. I've already paid it in full. So it's a done deal now. And after next week, I think what's left is like book layout, cover art, all that bullshit, right? The book is Courage Through Adversity. And a big tenet in that book is talking about putting things in front of you that are arduous and difficult. And so I was like, what better way? Release the book and then go right back into a cycle, even myself, of pursuing things like this.
Yeah, and then have a book signing in Maui. Have a big ass conference. Book signing.
Dude. Fucking, I'll bring. I don't know what the packing list looks like yet. I don't know.
We'll fly. I'll be flying there, so I'll bring books.
Hell yeah,
you can have a book signing. You can have a big powwow with Josh Dukes.
Well, bro, I tell you, Josh Dukes said, "Hey, keep us posted, and we'll have a fucking luau on the beach when you guys land."
Yeah.
Can you imagine that, dude?
I would love to go there and be on that boat that goes out to
meet us and bro,
guide you guys in.
Can you imagine that? Like and bro, we could even make this like a big public party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do the right thing, find whatever beach in Maui we can fucking host an event at and be like, "Hey, you want to come celebrate the end of the journey with us? Let's go." I'll probably step on fucking the beach and just fall over and pass out and be like, "All right, enjoy the party."
That's going to be exciting.
Dude, what do you think? We got about 20 minutes left. And this was something that I talked to my team, the Forge team, about on Monday. And it kind of ties into everything that we do. But do you think your capacity to find joy in your life, do you think it's external or do you think it's internal? Or do you think it's a combination of both?
I think on the journey that I've been lately, it's internal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just through growing up the way I grew up and everything that I was subjected to and the things that I did to myself, right? It was all finding joy, but it wasn't joy. They were escape.
Mm-hmm.
Versus now I transition, so instead of like drinking beer to find joy, I acknowledge that as an escape
Yeah.
from something deeper. And all that ever did was rob my true joy. So now that I've acknowledged, I got rid of how I dealt with, the way I deal with my feelings or some of the trauma that I had before I went into heart medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just find joy in creating freedom for myself. And that in turn gives me time to appropriate to my family. And then all the things that give me joy, like jujitsu. A lot of my love too goes to my work, which is, hard for me to say because it's not like a regular work, but it's actually something that I'm growing a lot from. So it's in turn given me joy. Instead of looking at work as a hardship, I've gotten a lot of growth from it. So that gives me joy. And that's all internal. All the external joys that I seeked were kind of seeking my desires. And they were fulfilled, but they were more like instant gratifications.
Yeah.
And I took it a step deeper, 2 weeks ago. And, I professed myself publicly in front of my church, Lord Jesus Christ, my Jesus Christ and Savior, And that was so hard for me to do.
Why?
Because I felt a lot of shame. Like everything I was doing in that moment before I walked up to the pulpit.
When was this?
It's 2 Sundays ago.
Okay.
Everything I was doing, I was sitting there as he was preaching about Charlie Kirk, and he was getting amped up, and everybody was getting fired up. And I felt like I was gonna get a fucking heart attack because I just felt like the devil was just holding me back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just said, bro, God help me. And as soon as he said, Charlie Kirk connected with the young youth, the young generation of our country through politics, but that was the Trojan horse for Christianity. Everybody stood up, and I stood up, and I just felt like relieved.
Wow.
And he said, I'm going to call, if you haven't been to church, or if you've been looking for God, you haven't found God, or if you feel like you found him today, or you want to come into his kingdom and get to know him, I need you to walk up front. And I just started walking up front. And I felt shame, I felt guilt on the way up. And I realized those were all the feelings that were holding me back from ever progressing. Not in that moment, but also in other moments of my life where I could have gained something. That's how I helped myself back, because I was worried about people judging me or how I was going to be perceived. And I was like, bro, freedom. This is what the fuck.
Everyone's going to perceive you by who the fuck you are. And everybody knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah, no,
if finding Christ and aligning with Christian values makes you a fucking stronger person, I love that, dude. And bro, what's so cool about this place is that nobody cares. I don't think any of your friends are going to be like, oh man, we lost Will to the Christians. Like a lot of my closest friends are Christians,
And it's not necessarily that. It's more of all the things that I've been carrying with me all this way. Because it's not like I've ever seen God. I've always seen him. I know that he's the one that's kept me right. And that's why 2 weeks before that, I went to church, and the sermon, it was Jordan and Jenny that took me to church.
Okay.
And the sermon was the prodigal son. And I just felt it. I was like...
The sermon was what?
The prodigal son.
I'm not familiar.
So basically the son wanted his inheritance, took his inheritance from his father, went and lived a lavish life, lost it all, worked in a pigsty. And then when he came back home, his father received him.
His father received. Yeah, okay, I am familiar with that story.
So now I'm just like, dude, I was a prodigal son. Like, he never left me.
Yeah.
I wandered away. And when I came back, all he's ever shown me was the love that he's been giving me for all my life.
Dude, I feel that. You feel that, dude?
I feel it. I mean, I really feel it. Yeah. And I feel it more that now that I'm like letting it out to you, because like you're a great friend to me, and like I've learned a lot the last couple of weeks. I mean, years, but more like the weeks. Where we're starting to get closer in different ways, more than one.
Of course.
And like for me to let this out to you, it's like telling my brother, like, bro, this is where I went.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to come check it out, but like this is what I did.
Yeah.
But more so, Professor was just kind of carrying everything from back then, because back home everybody's Catholics. So those are who I would be getting the wrath from. I was just working my way to breaking those chains.
Yeah.
It's them, not people here, not the people that I've met since I moved up here. No, everybody here has been received me well, and they've taught me a lot, and I've learned how to receive all the love that everybody's given me.
Yeah.
And it's helped me overcome that and find my true self.
Bro, I'm fucking stoked for you.
I even asked Tyler, I said, bro, like, can you love God and love the spirit? And he's like, bro, it's like MMA, bro. You have all the tools.
Yeah.
I was like, I gave him a hug. I said, I love you, bro. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how I want to feel, and that's how I want everybody to feel. So earlier when I said, like, starting a revolution, it's like, that's what I was telling myself at a young age. I just didn't know the path yet.
Yeah.
I just needed to trust it and follow it. So the revolution was actually just me starting the war within myself to bring my higher self out and find greatness.
Well, bro, we all know in our hearts that is the right revolution. The revolution of empowering people. The revolution of showing people how to love themselves. And I'm not the fucking greatest at it. I struggle too, right? That's why we're having that talk about joy, because I've been struggling over the last year to sit with joy. I sit with a lot of sadness lately.
Yeah.
And it's to the point where when I sit with my own emotions, I'm like, dude, am I choosing to feel sadness right now when I could be choosing to feel joy right now? That's kind of what made me go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And, some people are like, yeah, you need to fucking change how you think. And like, they make it that simple, right? But then the other side of it is there are life circumstances that really hurt my heart when I think about them and when I sit with them and when I reflect on them. And so it's like I've been in this crossroads where when I'm at the gym, when I'm teaching, when I'm hanging out, when I'm present with my kids, when I'm doing the thing, I know that a good version of me is showing up. I know that. But when I'm alone sitting in the sauna, I inevitably start to reflect on like losing the boys and like the breakup of my family. And it's like, dude, that stuff still haunts me constantly. And it's like, man, how do I get to a point where like I have to accept life is always going to have ups and downs? How long can you allow the bad parts of life to have the front row seat to your life? A year later? Like how long? So now it's like, fuck, man, I know a lot of people sit in grief and sadness for long periods of time. And it's like, dude, what is the true method to be able to, you can't just, you're not going to let go of those things completely. It's a part of your life. It's people you care about.
Yeah.
It's a part of your story. But how do you arrive at a point where the things that bring you the most sadness, you can now hold those in your heart, but still sit in peace and joy? And I was thinking about, or have you ever read Man's Search for Meaning by
No.
Viktor Frankl?
Is it Man's Search for Meaning?
Yes.
No.
Or am I getting my fucking books confused? No. That's correct. Regardless, if the title of the book is not that, I apologize. But Viktor Frankl's whole thing, he was in a fucking Nazi concentration camp. And his whole thing was like, dude, your capacity to feel joy is all within. No matter where you're at, no matter what people are doing to you, no matter what is happening externally, you can control the inside of yourself, and you can control your spirit, and you can find joy in any situation. And it's like, that's fucking black belt. That's black belt level joy finding, right?
Yeah. Black belt indeed. I for me, man, and especially now more finding God, right? It's just a lot of the things I had to battle were things that weren't mine. So I was being overly considerate with other people's feelings and their perceptions versus now where I just go back to finding my joy. If it's nothing that's going to serve me or my family at the moment or anything that's conducive to my growth, then I can hold space for it, but it doesn't
rob you of your
my
happiness.
joy. Yeah. I can acknowledge it and put that bitch aside. And
do you literally, because I was talking to Jenny about this the other night. She's like, you control your thoughts. And I was like,
yeah, and it's so
do
awesome.
you control your thoughts?
Yeah, it's awesome when you have a partner.
Yeah.
Because now I just tell God, forgive me for thinking like that, because I get intrusive thoughts, and then I get the thoughts that, like, the ones that I don't want, that just haunt me and try to rob me of my joy and my happiness, right? Like, I can control it, and it's fun to have a partner that I can just pray through and just say,
hold
shit aside.
this. Yeah, you help me shelf this right now.
Yeah, that's not my shit. Like, it has nothing to do with I'm choosing how to make my day today.
Yeah.
This is my day.
Yeah, it's weird, man, because it's like my brain will start playing the not even coulda, shoulda, woulda, because I'm not a guy that gets stuck in the past per se. My brain constantly plays out scenarios of what could you do next? What could potentially fix this or bring these people back together? Or it's like it's going through this, like, almost a what if scenarios of the future.
Yeah.
Not like fucking poor me, this happened, I'm sad about this, but it's like, bro, I don't want to fucking think about shit. Like, I don't want to be consumed about the things that bring me sadness 24/7. Even if you are thinking about it in a way of, like, moving through it or trying to build relationships back or whatever the case may be, you know? And
no, it's wild, like, in a sense too. I'm going through stuff where it's like just family stuff, how to rebuild and how to restructure and bring back what was lost, but it's totally different dynamic, but it's still the same concept.
Yeah.
But at this point we're all ascending at our own levels. And right now it's just, okay, give them time to do that. I'm going to do this, and we'll just do little things here and there until we actually make connection.
Yeah.
Not invest a lot of energy into wishing this is what it's going to be in the future.
Yeah. Because, bro, you can wish all you fucking want.
Yeah.
And I mean, we talk about manifestation, building the future you want, but at the end of the day, we can only guide our lives so much, because it's like jiu-jitsu, man. Other people getting a vote in how this plays out and how these relationships work and all that stuff. Bro, it's a weird spot for me because, I mean, I don't think I've ever said this to anyone, but I'll say it to all the Endless Endeavor listeners. Like, when Bedros asked me to speak at his event, he asked me to speak at his event after knowing him for 90 minutes. He just felt the energy, right?
Oh, yeah, that was in Florida.
It was, so it's, well, no, I mean, I did the podcast, and he invited me to speak at the event
before,
and he invited me to Squire. Squire's where I would say we actually got to know each other.
Yeah.
He
had a 2-mile walk.
Yeah, right. And so there was a part of me that was like, man, he wants me to speak to 1,000 people. And I felt fucking sad for 6 months. And it's like, that's the imposter voice trying to rob you of your power.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, just because I felt sad, it doesn't mean that I don't have a lot of value to bring, right? But I structured how I spoke to people with that in mind, because dude, if I'm not feeling the greatest, I don't want to go out there and pretend like I'm the happiest motherfucker in the world. I got it all figured out. Follow me and you'll live your life like this, right? I'm not a fucking guru. And so, like, the first thing I said to people is like, dude, I'm not even a motivational speaker. I'm a conversationalist.
That's real.
And I like to bring things to people's attention that can help them become a better person in their lives. And the truth is, there's nothing that I can say that's going to make your life better. All the answers to making your life better are within right now.
Yeah.
What I can do and what we're going to do today is a little exercise. where I help you look in the mirror, because it ain't about me. It's about you. Like, congratulations. I could stand on the stage for 20 minutes and tell war stories. Or we could, as a group of people, start to ask ourselves some questions that's going to make us look at different aspects of our life a little differently. Yeah. And I handed the mic to different people and like got different perspectives and shit. And bro, everybody was like, that was pure magic, right?
You get involvement.
Yeah, because I didn't. And it's funny how the universe works. I was like, dude, I'm not in a place to stand up here and act like I got it all figured out. So I'm going to stand up here and be one of you guys and be in the trenches with you. And that is where like you could feel the synergy in the arena coming together.
And I feel that, and it's just a product of kind of growing under you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Under you, under Mike, Rachel Novak. Like, they're not the easiest people to work with, but for some reason I love it and I choose to endure it, because I'm going to
take that snippet and send it to them directly.
It's also, helping me out. Right? Like, there's a reason why I signed up for that. There's a reason why I asked for it. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason why I asked for endurance and grace, because we're not perfect, but it was through vulnerability where I get to tap in and really like just submit to the process, right? Just like the speech, right? If I'm going to roll with somebody that wants to whip my ass and I give him the energy, like, he's going to learn what he's going to learn from that role. Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell him like, hey bro, yeah, you got me there. Like, he's going to feel it. And I feel all of it, from jiu-jitsu to just freaking role playing, talking to you, the things we talk about. Like, that's all growth. And I'm nothing but grateful, because that's what I get. And then for you to, like, ask question and we go kind of deeper inside our emotions. Like, I feel even more blessed to have like a fucking brother like you that we get to talk like that.
Yeah.
And not a lot of men talk like that. And I feel like that's my job, because like I said earlier, I've always wanted to fulfill my desires. I want to start a revolution. I've always been a leader in my community. I want to be formidable in my community, but I have to do it in the way that God wants me to do it, because the way I did it was only to supply my ego and push me forward and make me feel like I was the man.
Yeah.
When now I know full and well that I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm just showing them how to do it through working on myself.
Yeah.
And walking the path that I'm walking.
Bro, I don't think we can end it on a better note than that. It's time. We got kids class.
Roger
that. You got any final thoughts or shout outs or places for people to connect with you, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I just fired back up because I cannot stop hearing your voice in the back of my mind talking about being more consistent with the podcast. And then you gave me tools to not only make that easier. So yeah, you can follow me on Backup. I actually have a YouTube channel now where you can actually watch the videos. So kind of doing both. And then you can catch me on Spotify, and I'm officially on Apple Podcasts now.
You are Patriotic Islander.
Yep, Patriotic Islander.
Okay, I'll put the link in the show notes below as always. But I appreciate you coming out and just fucking talking life, dude. Like, there's plenty of times when we sit down and we actually interact with our teammates, just like we interacted for the last hour. Yeah. How many times we said, fuck, man, we should have had the mics going. That was a podcast, right? And if you want to sit down with a homie and record a podcast, cool. But also prioritize just doing this whenever.
Yeah.
Doing it around a fire. Doing it around the mat rooms. Doing it in the sauna. And like, we had a micro one of these in the sauna last night, you know? And so I appreciate you, man. And thanks for doing this on short notice. And I think it turned into a fucking radical episode.
Likewise. I love you.